It was incredible and fascinating to be working and living in Russia on this film. And one of the reasons I came here was I wanted to really bring a Russian soul into my film. It was really important to have it genuine because my great uncle Andrei, who I happened to do the film on, was born here, lived here. And it was very important that I bring this Russian aspect into the film because it was part of his fabric. You know, he was really a Russian until the day he died. And walking the streets where he walked, looking at where he lived, and I also lived in a building next to another building that was a Челищев building. I went to the church near Spaso House, which was the Andrei, where Andrei went as a young man to church there. It's a beautiful little church. I also went to the church near on Bolshoi Nikitsky, or Malenki Nikitsky, I forgot, where Natalia Goncharova and Pushkin were married. And I named my daughter after my relative Natalia Goncharova, who married Pushkin, because my mother's side is Goncharova. You know, I have a long kind of history on and genetic, let's say, history of Russia in my blood. And for me, it's coming back to the motherland in a way. I love this country, and it's an amazing place to be. I think it's changed tremendously since my first trip to Russia in 1991. I find that the people here are warm, they're open, they're helpful, and that's what I found in working with the Russians here. This film about a Russian, really a Russian who was born in Russia, but left Russia like many Russians did after the revolution and the Civil War, contributed to his world, to his business, the wine industry. It's really a story which I think Russians themselves should see, whether you're a shoemaker, a bus driver, somebody who's working in the government, or a lawyer, or a politician, or somebody in the news. It's a film which will touch them because it's really it's a deep story about a man who is really inspiring. It's also about in the details, you know. And the sounds are very important in films too. So everything to me had to be genuine. All the original footage that I found, I spent months looking at archival footage in Russia to find something that would touch me. And but it is a Russian story in many ways. I mean, when you go through the beginning of the film and you see it and you hear that, like for example, Andrei's godfather was Prince Lev Golitsyn, you know, who was famous for his champagne of 1900 in a blind tasting beat the French. In 1976, Andrei's protégés beat the French. And it's interesting that his godson, through his work, again beat the French. And in an industry where they were considered the kings. So I can say спасибо большое. Я очень рад здесь быть здесь. Россия, Москва, я тоже был в Санкт-Петербург. Я люблю это место, это земля, это мои корни. И я люблю Россию. Я очень рад, что я можно быть здесь. Спасибо большое.